For the past 3 months, I've been riding my mountain bike in these barefoot skate shoes from a brand called Splay. In this video, I want to tell you why I decided to choose these shoes for mountain biking. I want to go over all the features that you might need to know if you're interested in buying these shoes for yourself, and I want to give you my thoughts after riding in them for 3 months. So you might be wondering, why am I mountain biking in barefoot skate shoes? A simple explanation is just that I love riding in skate shoes, and I wanted a skate shoe with a little bit of a wider toe box, that way my toes wouldn't be cramped. I actually made a full-length video on my main channel if you want to check that out, and you can learn a little bit more about my thought process behind why I selected these shoes. Alright, so let's get into a little bit of information about the shoes. So I decided to go with a size 12, which is what I usually order for Vans and other shoes that I wear. And I was happy to see that the size 12 fit absolutely perfectly, which is nice because you'll probably have to order these online. Most stores are not going to carry Splay shoes, at least not yet. So it was nice that the sizing was really easy to figure out and that the shoes fit me straight away. In addition to these shoes being barefoot shoes, they're also zero drop, which means the heel is the same height as the toes and creates a nice kind of grounded, planted feel, which I really love in a skate shoe. The stack height of these shoes is 6.5 millimeters, but when you add the insole, it adds an additional 4 millimeters. In addition to these shoes, Splay also offers a bunch of other skate shoes. They have high tops, of course, they have low tops, they have shoes made with different materials, and they have a ton of different color options as well. Alright, so now I want to give you my thoughts after riding in these shoes for 3 months. So the first thing we need to discuss is how completely unscathed the bottom of this shoe is. I've gone on probably a dozen rides in these shoes over the past 3 months, and there's no signs of pedal pin marks at all. Mountain bike pedal pins are super sharp. I'm genuinely surprised there's not more damage. Another thing I noticed after riding in them for 3 months is they feel very comfortable to do drops on your bike. I was kind of worried that I would feel a lot of shock in my feet since the soles are a little bit thinner than some of the other shoes that I've ridden bikes in. But even with the only 10.5 millimeter thickness of the sole, I felt like it was very protective, and I think my foot just really was able to absorb a lot of the impact because of the flexibility of the sole and the ability to use the strength of my foot rather than relying on the shoe. I was also super happy to see that there was no separation with the binding agent between where the sole connects to the upper of the shoe. That's one problem I always have with Vans, is specifically coming apart in this area right here, and so far so good, no separation. One feature I really like is the padding in the ankle, and I feel like especially for riding bikes this is super nice, where on the inside your ankle might kind of strike the cranks if your feet are kind of coming off the pedals when you're in the air or doing anything like that. There's also no rubbing or kind of tearing from the cranks on the inside as well, which is really nice. I was kind of worried that these shoes were going to slide around because my toes didn't contact the front of the shoe and they didn't feel like they were necessarily stuffed inside of the shoe, so I kind of figured they would kind of slide around on me, which isn't really great for riding bikes. But since they're high tops, I feel like I was able to kind of tie the shoe a little bit tighter up here around my ankle, and then it sort of held the back of my foot and the ankle in place, and it didn't really matter if my toes weren't touching the front of the shoe. So that ended up working out really nicely, and now my toes don't get jammed inside of my shoe. One downside that I've noticed, and it's just pretty obvious, is that these are canvas shoes. They're not waterproof at all. I did get caught in one rainstorm wearing these shoes, and they were pretty soaked for about 24 hours. But I was surprised to see that once they dried out, there was no sort of damage to like the glue. There's no sort of stretching or anything of the shoe, which is really nice. I feel like sometimes when shoes get completely saturated, especially canvas shoes, they can start to kind of lose their shape and lose their integrity. But I've ridden in these shoes since, and they've still held up super great. So I really can't say enough great things about these shoes. If something were to happen to these shoes, maybe I lost them or something, I would just have to go and order another pair of these tomorrow because I love riding in them so much. If you found this video helpful, please consider going down and hitting the like button. It gets this video out to more viewers like you, which really helps our channel. And if you're ready to buy some Splay skate shoes for yourself, please consider buying them through our link in the description. A portion of that sale will go to supporting our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.